Look, there we go. There it is, right there. All right. What up? What up? What up? What up? Say something for me. Let me know if you can hear me. What's happening? What up? What up? What up? What up? Yo, DK, what's good? TM Brad, what's happening? What's going on? OG Bruce Lee, what's good, man? What's good? We good? We good? Ricky Skizzles, what's up? Let's go ahead and pile on in. What up? What up? What up? What up? Darwin, what's good? Sullivan Walker, peace. Street, aka Concrete, what's happening, man? What's going on? MC 3 Feet, what's going on? Trav, PO1, what's happening? Oh man, this stuff gonna be just. We can have this conversation in 5 minutes and be done. Like, this stuff ain't rocket science, man. Mega Truth, what's going on? Tight T, what's happening? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Where we at in the chat, man? Where we at? We at 17. We pile in, man. Let's get the likes up to a quick 10-piece. If it's a 10-piece spicy. Hey, Angela, what's happening? OG Bruce Lee said he's more concerned about Saturn and Aquarius than the conjunction, as you should be, my friend. Jew sent me a picture the other day with, what was that? I guess some people are suing Facebook. And he was like, this is what Saturn and Aquarius looks like. Yeah, we can start to see restrictions in technology, government intervening with tech companies for sure. Saturn and Aquarius got that technology antitrust suit written all over it. You know what I'm saying? Saturn is the government, technology is Aquarius. So it's time to bring some rules and regulations. What up, Zigzagger? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, more censorship for sure. You know what I mean? These are the things you need to know, the rules and regulations, man. That's Saturn. You know what I mean? Yep. Censorship. Yeah. K-Money, what's happening? What's going on? We're going to get it in. Make sure I got some agua malayo, as I call it. All right, man. Oh yeah, 13. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get this party started, man. All right, so welcome to the channel, man. Hip Hop Astrology TV, man. I'm your host, Ampu, aka the Urban Guru, aka with Miss, I ain't gonna say her name, but y'all all know her. Superstar in her right. What she called me, Astro Daddy one time. I said, woohoo. But man, you know, Today's conversation, real fast, is about this great alignment that's happening right on the eve of the winter solstice, which is like December 21st, 22nd, up in that little pocket. If you don't know what a winter solstice is, that is our that is the day after that. It's the first day of winter one. Could be considered the longest night of the year. But the beautiful thing about this paradox that I want you to pay attention to is the days will slightly become a little bit longer, starting after December 21st. So daylight is about to creep back into our reality. And for me, I just be like, shit, we just got about 90 days until we back to the spring equinox. You know what I'm saying? So let's just, if you're gonna bring that snow, bring that snow, bring it if you're in the snow belt and whatnot. So light is starting to increase at this particular time. Masonically speaking, this is known as Saint John's Day. And is a heavy celebration all across the earth for cultures who understand cosmic phenomenon. So winter solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, fall equinox. These are really your four celestial crosses inside of our solar system as we rotate around this thing known as the sun and whatnot. So this year we're going to see Saturn and Jupiter line up. They already been lined up already, you know what I mean, in Capricorn, but they also going to line up in Aquarius. Okay. Now, Jupiter moves much faster than Saturn. And truth be told, Jupiter is going to get ghosts on the last day of December. It's going to move out and go into Pisces and whatnot. We are going to experience a Jupiter retrograde, if I'm not mistaken, I think in the month of May. And what's going to happen is, for those of you who have things in late Aquarius, you're going to get a triple blessing. You get a major opportunity. Because what happens is, if you can imagine, let's just say a wall clock. And let's say Jupiter is at the number 11 on the wall clock. Well, in this journey, it looked like it's going to go to 12 o'clock Pisces. And then this retrograde motion gives the appearance as if it's coming back to 11 o'clock, back to, 10. And then it's going to go back forward over 11 again and whatnot. So what happens is, in the sky right now, you can see it going towards 11. It hits it. It's going to go into Pisces, and then it's going to retrograde, come back towards 11, which is Aquarius, then come back in the mid part of Aquarius, and then go direct again and pass over the 11th marker again. Okay. So it's like this 3-time energy of Jupiter that wants to bestow blessings upon a specific region of space in Aquarius, which are known as the latter degrees. In fact, I'll do this for you. I'm going to go to an online ephemeris. Okay. An ephemeris is where you can see the planetary positions all the way back from the year 1600 going all the way up to the year 2100. Okay. Actually going back to the year 1500. It starts all the way up into the future to 2100. Okay. I use Chaldea, KHALDEA.com. Chaldea.com. Click on ephemeris, the third link in the menu, and then click on the desired year that you want to make an observation. So I'm going to go down and click on 2021, and I think I'm going to go to the month of May. So it's not May, it's actually June. Jupiter is going to start to retrograde, and you will see it because it's red. So you got to go to the Jupiter column, the planetary glyph that looks like the number 4, and scroll down and see where it turns red. And it got it on June the 20th, which is the summer solstice, which is direct opposite where it is right now. far as 6 months in time goes. But Jupiter is going to retrograde at 2 Pisces. All right. So that fast, Jupiter is going to go into, and somewhere in May, Jupiter is going to go into Pisces. So it's not going to even stay in Aquarius all that long until that retrograde motion comes. Okay. And so at 2 Pisces, if you have something starting at 2 Pisces, the Jupiter retrograde starts and it ends in October the 17th. Shout out to Gucci 1017. Shout out to my daughter. It's my daughter's B-Day. On 1017, you're going to have Aquarius go back to 22 degrees. I mean, Jupiter's going to go back to 22 degrees Aquarius. So what am I saying? If you have anything from the region of 22 Aquarius up to 2 degrees Pisces, that's just 10 degrees, okay? In that time span of the retrograde, June to when? June to October, okay? Then those 10 degrees right there, 22 degrees Aquarius plus 10 degrees gives you 32, but 30 is 0 degrees in our science, so 2 degrees Pisces. So if you have anything in that little region right there, that's where the Jupiter retrograde is going to come back up and come again, okay? So really pay attention to that particular spot, all right? But if you got anything in the latter degrees, 0 Aquarius to 21 Aquarius, Jupiter is just going to come and touch that. And that's going to be through the beginning of the year. And then, like I said, when it gets to 22 degrees up to 2 degrees Pisces, it's going to go up, retrograde, come back, and then go direct and swing like that, okay? And so, yeah, you get it. There's something to be had here. The key to this whole thing is Jupiter wants to expand consciousness. It wants to help you grow. It's big. It's the fat boy. It's Santa Claus of the solar system. This is where you get it. Now, the universal theme is this. Where is it at in the sky? Oh, it's in Aquarius. So what is Aquarius? Aquarius is groups of people, technology. Okay? I'm going to stick with those two because this is your social media is Aquarius. But physical social gatherings is also Aquarius. So really, this is about expansion of your friends, expansion of your network. Okay? Now, what is Saturn? Saturn is the guy that says, oh, ancient times, I actually ruled this area of space, and I want to get serious. I want to make things concrete and make it a reality while I'm here. So now this Saturn represents older people, older, successful people. This is where you got to really pay attention to when people say, especially wealthy people, successful people, they strive to make themselves the dumbest person in the room by putting themselves around successful people, Saturn, people, Aquarius, in the group setting, okay? And allowing themselves to soak up game from those that are more successful. This whole thing right here, the biggest benefit on a personal tip is to increase your network of people so you can increase your net worth, your value. Okay? So we should be striving and seeking guidance from older, successful people in groups of people who are in the area of our desired expertise of success. It's really that simple. But you got to hit it. Because again, like I said, the end of the year, Jupiter is out of here and off to Pisces it goes. So you get one good year to fully tap into the expansions of groups of people. If there was ever a time that somebody was likely, a group of people was likely to really help you fulfill your dream, this is an amplifier to make that happen. Okay. Now, it may not be as fast as you like because Jupiter's energy is quick expansion because of Saturn's nature is whoa, slow down, do the due diligence, take your time, climb the mountaintop, be successful. Okay. So that's the key to it. Okay. Now, as I was pondering on it, hey, Monica, what's happening? And so as I was pondering on it, I said, man, look at the polarity. Go to the opposite side of the spectrum, especially with Saturn. Saturn's energy, Valerie, what's happening? Saturn's energy Saturn represents career and being out in the public. Opposite that is Cancer at home. On the wall clock, this looked like 6 o'clock, Cancer at the bottom, Saturn at the top, which represents career success out in the public so everybody can see. So the 10th house, which is known as the 12 o'clock on the wall clock, that's the public, because that's when the sun is in the southern sky, is at its highest peak. So therefore, it's like, oh, wow, everything is at its highest glory. Okay. Well, Saturn represents coming out so you can be successful, but opposite that is home life. So in order for us to be successful before quarantine and in the home entrepreneur, you had to pretty much go outside of your house to go make it happen, right? So the challenge here to tap into Saturn is to get outside of your home. Okay? Get outside of it. Now, I'm not saying you can't have successful home ventures, but what I'm saying is when you look at the polarity aspect of it, meaning the opposite side of Saturn, Cancer, and the home life, to tap into that success thing, you had to totally leave it. You had to go out and get it. And so technically, this particular principle known as success, dedication, hard work, discipline, okay, it challenges the home life. And I said, well, damn, this is very interesting, because especially for my entrepreneurs, this is very interesting for you, more so than anybody, because we're talking about success, groups of people, and how to expand that success that you desire. So for my entrepreneurs, we're going to have to get uncomfortable. But that level of uncomfort or discomfort is really the fuel for entrepreneurial success. See, here's the thing. Have you ever got to a point, and I'm talking to my entrepreneurs here, if you haven't got to that point where the craft, whatever it is that your entrepreneur endeavors are, cannot sustain you and pay your bills, and you feel like you have to go to work because it just can't cover down, then you definitely are going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to really, really, really get uncomfortable. Really. Okay? Because you haven't made it yet. It's just the truth. And even when you get to that plateau just to cover down, that's just getting on base. You didn't get in it just to cover down. You got in it so you can create change, and hopefully that change that you can create has a financial reward to it. Okay? And so it's like playing the game cash flow. The object of the game is to create passive income to pay for your expenses. Well, shit, if your expenses is only $2,000 a month, $4,000 a month, and you get enough passive income just to pay that, because you got you a couple real estate houses and whatever, and it's just paying that, guess what? You can quit your job now, but are you rich? No, you just got enough money coming in from a passive source to go ahead and pay that, and you better pray that nothing goes wrong with that passive source if all you got is the exact money that you need to replace your 40-hour or 80-hour, whatever it is, work week that you got going on, right? Okay? And so we got to get to a level of discomfort here, because discomfort is going to put you like who sits still in discomfort when you uncomfortable. I don't know anybody that gets comfortable with if you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, then you just not uncomfortable, right? So you have to find that point that is really uncomfortable. And even myself, I'm looking at it like, ooh wee, don't tell me I gotta do what I think I gotta do. And I'm like, shit, damn, I gotta go where I did not. When I tell you I do not want to go where I am about to go, but I have to because it's a certain level of responsibility. Keyword Saturn. Saturn, another keyword for Saturn is father. Okay? Father is another one. So for me personally, I'm like, oh shit. God damn it. But that's going to make me uncomfortable, and that's good because I ain't trying to sit still and be comfortable. I got something to do. In, out, and hitting it, at least twice a month hitting it. So I got something that's new that I have to do that's uncomfortable, but it's a level of responsibility, okay, that I'm picking up. And it's absolutely, it just has to be done, okay? So really, because see, Saturn is not about the easy shit. I'll be honest with you. Saturn's principle is something that, I'm going to tell you, people be like, Saturn means black people. Man, let me tell you something, man. I disagree. Saturn is the aspect of consciousness that black folks avoid. I'm going to just be all the way honest with you. One, Saturn talks about being on time. Black folks then got so good with not being on time, we made up our own time code for it. It's called CP time. And like literally, that's what we do. You're like, man, we on CP time. I'm never on CP time. Listen, man, being late burns me up because I'm just not. I'm a timely person. I just don't got a problem with time. I wake up early. Like I don't have a problem with time. I don't understand. To have a problem with time means you can't properly measure your future, and that's just. And I know some of y'all got little issues with time. And so I ain't gonna say the word that I want to say, all right. But that's just it's erroneous. Okay, do better because all time is a measurement. It's a measurement. It is a measurement of pretty much we can say activity. We can say speed, but it's a measurement of activity from one place to another place. Like you can't measure that. Like you have a problem measuring that. Listen, man. So anyway, I'm gonna get off that. All right. You're gonna have to really be timely here though, because when any planet is at its home, like Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius is a co-ruler here, that energy is exuded more. Okay. It's exuded more. Okay. So Saturn's energy is responsibility. But guess what its energy is on the flip side? Failure, losses, hardship, karma, delays, right? It's all that slow sluggard stuff. Usually that comes when you're not being responsible. All right. What up, Lottie Dodie? Lottie Dottie, Lottie Dodie, what's happening? You know what I mean? That's where that comes from. And so you're going to really have to step it up here and start putting yourself in those success circles. I mean, this is the biggest thing that it represents. On a personal tip, put yourself in the success circle. So you want to deal with real estate, then you better have your butt on some real estate Zoom meetings. You better have your butt on these apartment meetings that they having. You better get in and start making what? Friends. Why? Because Aquarius represents friends. Saturn is success. I want successful friends. Jupiter is expand. Successful friends that help you expand. This stuff is not rocket science, man. You literally take the planet's definition, several of its definitions, understand the polarities, the positive attributes, the not so positive attributes, which must be activated by your choice. Same thing with what Jupiter, all the planets. Understand the signs, attributes, and say, okay, let me work it and tap in, meaning do the work. Okay. So this is not hard. Now, on another level, this government thing that we see, it's already been shaping up from Saturn and Jupiter being close together already, and Pluto. Excuse me. In what up, Coach Mike? What's good, man? In Capricorn. Okay, so Saturn is still government, even though it's rolling into Aquarius. It's the people got something to say. So we still on the brink of a very sensitive election process where we may see we still may see some issues because you got Pluto. I'm sorry, you have Pluto and Cap, which is the end destruction government. It's Capricorn. And you have Mars and Aries that's still squaring off on this energy, Jupiter and Saturn included. Because since Jupiter and Saturn just came into Aquarius, that's still like being right next door to Capricorn. And when Aries is in late, Aries is in Mars is in late Aries, that's still a square to Capricorn. And then when Mars goes into Taurus, Taurus is a square to Aquarius, where Jupiter and Saturn is. So we're still picking up a Mars square right now. So this timeline of this Mars square, let's look at that in real time. How we look at it, like I said earlier, if you just got here, I go to an ephemeris called Chaldea, KHALDEA.com. Click on ephemeris. Click on the year that you want to make the observation. I'm in 2021. And you can see where the planets are at if you are a data star geek. Okay. So what I'm looking for is, when do Mars even go into Taurus? Mars goes in Taurus January the 7th. Okay. At that time, on January the 7th, Jupiter is 4 degrees Aquarius, Saturn is 2 degrees Aquarius. And so when will Mars catch Saturn? Mars will catch Saturn around January the 12th, exactly about 2 degrees apiece, 2 to 3 degrees. And then it'll catch Jupiter. It's going to catch Jupiter at 7 degrees around the 22nd. So in January, which is close to what? That's inauguration time. We got Mars in the sky in Taurus that is going to be squaring off on Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. Okay. Not to mention, Uranus is also in Taurus. So Mars and Uranus are going to come together and team up against Jupiter and Saturn. Now, this is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this off because I need to look at you. This is very, 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 very dangerous. Okay, I can't express this enough. This is dangerous. I wouldn't dare go to no, I don't care. I ain't going to no inauguration. You tripping. I really ain't going into no, you tripping. Okay, it's not about fear. It's about understanding the atmosphere. Because if you can Google these keywords, man, Google a keyword for Mars and watch you see gunshots, won't you see violence, and won't you see accidents. And then Google a keyword for Uranus, and it's going to be accidents again. So you got the two accidental energies, Uranus, and one represents revolution too, which is Uranus as well. Uranus is revolution. It's accidents coupled up with the planet that deals with pistols and bloodshed, squaring off against Saturn, which represents government. And we already shaky about it. This government transition. This is why you don't see Donald Trump. Like, you don't see no secession speech coming out of Trump. Not right now. In fact, you're starting to see states sue other states, okay, about the process that they did, okay? So this is like super duper volatile. And this is interesting, man. Mars and Uranus versus Saturn and Jupiter. And Saturn and Jupiter, both of them, Saturn is government and Jupiter is the law. And then you got the planets of anger, pistols, and revolution together. That's the people. That's the people on this side, and this is government on this side. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it don't mean, this is very interesting because it's a conundrum. The conundrum is this. When you look at the states that sued, it's Texas, it's the southern states, which were historically the slave states, are suing the northern states process of, this whole election. And I'm like, damn, the last time that they was beefing with each other, it was a civil war. But now, if you understand it, the southern states are now on the Republican side in a sense, and they're trying to get some justification and just some right, some right stuff to happen. So it's weird. It's like the roles have switched, okay, in this conundrum. So anyway, on a governmental scale, this looks potentially very nasty. Okay, very nasty, very, very, very nasty. And I don't think it's the government against the people. It's going to be the Civil War, as you've seen, is Antifa against Trump. And then you may see the Proud Boys are, what's considered to be white right-wing citizens against left-wing citizens. That's the fight now. It's not you going against the government because the government did an injustice. It's the people deciding to fight it out based off of the faction of government that they want to be in control. So the game has morphed into something else now. And that makes sense because you when you're dealing with Aquarius, you're dealing with the people. You ain't really dealing with government. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a different ball game. And you have to take in consideration, like I said before, go look it up. Pluto in the sky is in the exact same place it was in 1776 at the founding of the nation. So there's a cosmic memory that's being triggered. Okay? Coincidence? Like it took all those years, 240 something years? Whatever, like it took a long time for Pluto to get right back in the same spot where it was. Can you imagine if Pluto was a person and then he was like, damn, look at the United States. They fighting for their independence. Well, that's interesting. And then he's just walking, going around the solar system. And then right when he's right back in the same spot, it's, okay, let me look at America now. Oh, wow. Uh-oh. There's a big political thing going on again, like it's about to fight. So there's a cosmic wave of memory from Pluto and Capricorn, which utterly back then was what? The transformation and end of a certain government, meaning the 13 colonies had to get put to rest. Rest in peace. You had to murder 13 colonies. Even though when I say that, the 13 colonies won. But then that concept died and morphed into that flag you see behind me. It morphed into the United States of America. Okay, for the betterment of you and I to be where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? All right. And so the best way, man, honestly, is to get focused on yourself. Be super dope. The only thing you need at this particular point, because see, you can get busy with the planetary energy and just know the sign. Like, oh, okay, Aquarius, like I just said, hey man, let's tap into friends and networks and whatnot. Right, the houses is it can give you some. All right, well, the 7th house, relationships, go seek out partnership. Oh, the 10th house is career, 11th house is groups of people, 2nd house is money. You're still gonna have to tap into the principles of the planet, right? And the whole thing is, again, simply, so you don't even got to do it. Here's the general reading that's applicable to everybody. Tap into the network of people, your desired area of success. You tap into those groups of people, whether you on Facebook groups, whether you on private Zoom calls and things of that nature. That's it. And get busy with your work. But I'm telling you, Jupiter is big. Even next year is going to even be better. Well, not next year. I'm already in 21. 22 is going to be better because Jupiter technically is at home in Pisces in the old system. So when Jupiter gets to Pisces, which for me, that's my career line. My career line is Pisces. That's a point. So, which is the whole spirituality and things of that nature is just one of the things that deals with. It becomes, it's going to become something else because that energy at home, I told you, when the energy is at home, it feel like it's stronger. Okay. So Jupiter and Pisces, when we go into 22, is really going to be it's really going to be a great thing as well. All right. So you tap in, man, by getting serious. Listen, man, Saturn's energy really represents cutting the bullshit. you have to really identify, and I know we hear it all the time, and it could be cliche, you know what I mean? But you have to cut the things that no longer serve you. Because if you happen to be one of those people who were born with Saturn and Leo, hello, Saturn in Taurus, Saturn in Scorpio, Saturn in Aquarius, if you're one of those people who were born with that placement, you're going to have some challenges. Or if you're that zodiac sign, you're going to have some challenges in your life. If you don't hurry up and see, this is the thing about this shit, right? You already know. We already be knowing and be peeping to play and be seeing. And again, we usually get the reading because we just want the confirmation. You know what I'm saying? But you be having the feeling like, man, this fucking job sucks. I don't like this job. I don't like this relationship. I don't like this. You know, if you ain't living your best life, then God damn it, you are very clear on the things that are nagging you. You're very clear on it. I refuse to believe that we're not, right? Because you're not living your best life. Okay, then. So if you are one of these signs that I just named, which are the fixed signs, Aquarius, yourself, Leo, the opposite, Taurus, the square midpoint, Scorpio, the midpoint. If you have Saturn here, or if you are that zodiac sign, meaning your sun is there, which is a good chance that Venus and Mercury may also be there, you have some serious challenges coming for you, buddy. Because guess what? Saturn in Aquarius is about 2.5 years. It ain't like Jupiter gonna be gone this year. Jupiter coming in pretty much this month and gonna be gone a year from now. She's gonna get up out of here December and be like, okay, I bless you for a year. Saturn is like, oh yeah. All that quick shit you was trying to do on that expansion, I'm still here for a whole nother year and some change, right? And so you're going to have to really take your time to select your friends carefully. Saturn's energy is a death energy, man, meaning cut off the old you, cut off the part that is not helping you reach success. And then you can tap into the other side of this energy, which is what? Success. Okay. That's what it's about. It's just an aspect of our own consciousness. The planet in itself is just a mirror of where it is in space-time to help us gauge where we at and say, okay, let me just shift it a gear and cut the bullshit and stay within the cosmic harmony. Okay. So successful friends is where it's at. That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. That's where it's gonna be. Okay. Told you it wasn't going to be long. Now, let's get into perhaps maybe another line of business. Make sure I can cover everything. I think it's going to be a potential bloody revolution is there. Again, I said that already though. You know what I mean? Let's go to some Q&A. I don't want to get into charts because I'm telling you that the shit that I just said is the main goddamn thing. We ain't got to get into houses and none of that shit. We ain't got to get into none of that. I actually like to talk about consciousness. I want to talk about light. And you're welcome for sure. And 2021, and we should really just be doing this anyway, but I've become very aware that I don't even want to have a conversation unless it's speaking things into our lives that is about constructiveness, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if the word becomes flesh and speaking into existence is real, then what's the conversation about, man? What's the conversation about? I want to have conversation. For me, it has to be like we got to lock in right here. Now, I'm an Aquarius and got hella energy in Aquarius. I'm 4 planets deep in Aquarius. Okay. Then I got some other planets that's in these zones that I just named that I got to really tap in. So for me, I'm like, listen, we got to make a decision. Here's the decision, ladies and gentlemen. Either we're going to be at war, or you're going to have you some abundance, because you can't have both at the same time. Okay. You cannot serve both of these at the same time. They're not the same principle. They may be next to each other. If I say war is Aries and Mars, and then next to it, Taurus is Venus and pleasure and money. Sure. Okay. No problem. They're next to each other, though. They're not the same principle. Okay. You're not happy when you're killing. Who's happy when you in the mode of fighting and screaming and going through the motion? You happy in that moment? So our minds have to get 100% fixated on choosing. Now, I want to say this. I apologize because I think I'm gonna do some shit by the end of the year dealing with apology, right? And what I apologize about is the state of awareness that I was in. And I'm really going back to 2010, 09, up in that era. And I had the reflection of a dear friend showing me some conversations from my own words where I said, we are at war. Now, this ain't hard to believe that we at war. The black man and is doing, this and, the destruction of black boys and ADD and the corner store got the high fructose corn syrup, but it ain't in the white neighborhoods and the disparities of Baltimore inner city and their school failure rate, and they can't even read and things of that nature. It's not hard to see, especially when you come from a history of slavery and then civil rights era, and then after civil rights era and you get them, then you in the police brutality era. And what I mean by that is where you can have a Rodney King all the way to a Sandra Bland, and it could be flat out just fuckery. You can choke Eric Gardner out, and chokeholds are illegal, and there's absolutely no legal recourse that's done that reinforces all of those things, so it can appear for sure that we are at war. I get it. I see it. I see it perfectly clear. Now, we can be at war and say, yo, we at war. I'm going to take it to your ass. I'm just going to keep it real with you, because if I'm at war, I'm not trying to play this war defense mode. I'm going to war spank your ass because I believe that we at war. Okay. So it's part of my reason, all honestly, when I did go through the ranks, because I was thinking that, oh, this is the biggest organization and we're going to bust your ass, Mr. White Man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. And then I realized that's not the play. And that's cool. I'm not saying it should be the play. But I realized since it wasn't the play, and then I started to grow, and I started to realize, like, wait a minute. What if the plan that I think ain't really the damn plan. So I had to start examining this. Okay. And so what I mean by this is this. It's real simple. Because you want to talk war, let's talk war. I ain't got no problem talking war. I got DVDs called The Cosmic Art of War and show you the angle of this whole thing. Okay. The question I had to ask, because we're talking about Aquarius. If Aquarius is the group, the people, the revolution, Huey P. Newton was one of the illest manifestations of the Aquarian energy. Huey P. Newton, shotguns, rifles, storm the state house in California. What? Unprecedented. Something changed. That movement was so powerful. The movie Panther right now purposely is discontinued. Go look up and try to find the movie Panther and see if you can find it and see if you can rent it or buy it. You can't. You can't. Okay? Huey P. Newton, Bob Marley, Abraham Lincoln. And then the fourth ray, moi. Okay? So look, the people, the groups, that's Aquarius, that's going to bring about the change, right? So then I start thinking, well, shit, why ain't the government picking on the groups? Like, hey, stop awakening the people. Stop putting people on chlorophyll. Stop giving people sea moss. Stop teaching people about wealth. Stop teaching people about gold. Stop meeting in your mosque. Stop. Why ain't there no opposition? So then I had to wonder, it's only really three things that's happening. Either one, the message that we have is not effective, and then the so-called ops is looking and saying, that's some bullshit. They light years off. They don't even know it because we think we truthing, and they sitting back laughing like that's some bullshit. They ain't gonna never wake the people up at that particular pace. But when you look at the pace though, and I'm looking at success, like, because I thought the system didn't want us to be successful. So when I start looking at shit like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Mr. Combs, billionaire. Mr. Carter, billionaires. Mr. Carter is also getting legal defense teams and battling certain shit, and judges are ruling in his favor. So now that means the judges ain't getting the memo. That's a part of the secret society type shit. And I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, that's not adding up. We got more success that's going on right now. Something's not adding up. So either A, the information that we spewing is garbage, and the opposition say that shit's so weak it ain't even worth my attention. B, by some type of divine providence, your information is correct and they want to bust your ass, but for some reason they saying now ain't the time to bust their ass. Now ain't the time to round them up and put them in concentration camps. But that don't make sense to me, because if you wanted to put black folks in concentration camps, because people would tell you Saturn in Aquarius represents black people's death and the black people are going to be confined by the government. Bullshit. Because if you wanted to, you could easily do it or done it when there is a shooting and black folks are robbing and looting. I seen black people take a police horse in Chicago and was riding a horse down the street talking about charge that way. Like, I seen it with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, shit, this is the time to actually get on the black side and really create some chaos and make it look like black people did it, set them up and frame them, and then you can come in and institute martial law and put them all away. But when you get bout it, and rowdy, like Minister Jew said, what they do? They be like, can y'all please go in the house at 12 o'clock? It's a curfew, y'all. Please don't, we listen, please go in the house. Like, what all that gangster shit? Can I just say it? I'm going to try my best to stop cussing at 21. But for today, well, all that gangster shit at now, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a big boogeyman King Alfred playing man at now? I don't get it. So I don't believe the option that the man is waiting for an opportune time where your ass is you're reproducing like bunny rabbits around here. You know what I'm saying? Like you outnumbering him, he's shrinking, he's putting the data that his population is shrinking and you're rising. I don't get it. Why is he waiting? So now that brings us to another option here. The other option has to be the goddamn threat ain't as deep as we thought it was. So now I got to examine this option. Because what if it ain't a threat the way that we perceive it to be a threat? So then when you start looking at statistics, because I don't understand why would the FBI statistics say, hey, in America, there is actually one white man that dies by the hands of a police officer every day. But yet, did y'all hear about a black man dying today, yesterday, last week, week before? But we never, ever, ever name one white person that got killed by the police. You bad as hell if you can name two. You can't. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, wait a minute. You mean to tell me we don't even die every day and it's a grand conspiracy? What kind of conspiracy is this if we ain't dying every day? Like, I want to know. And like, how are other people slipping through the cracks and becoming successful and putting other people on in broad daylight? Like, yo, roll with me. Yo, MMG. Yo, nigga, come over here to my sign, to my publishing company. Hey, nigga, drink the Douce. Like, huh? I'm lost. I'm totally lost. Right? So the threat may not be what it used to be or what we think it is. Now, you got to get into an aspect of history to understand this thing and start really tracing it down. Ladies and gentlemen, I dare say, and it's just true, there has always been a group of European people at the very founding of this country who said black people are going to be free and this slavery thing is a bunch of bullshit and we're going to end it. Oh yeah, that's always been here at the very beginning. Now, my question is, here's my question. If I am under the persuasion that we are at war, and most certainly I was. That's why I apologize. I was. We are at war. Right? Ain't no tank coming down my street. Ain't no pressure. Ain't no pressure coming. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about we at war, but it ain't no pressure in my neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? It's the invisible war, brother. Man, if y'all don't shut the hell up with that whack shit. Listen. When you start looking at the fact that there was a group of people in the very beginning of this country, United States of America, said we're going to overthrow that shit. If we're not well studied and versed on that fact that it was some people here that said we're going to get them free and you and I are the benefit of that particular movement and beneficiaries of those particular thoughts, then you have to be quiet. Just shh for a minute. Because you got all of the stuff about slavery, Rodney King. We at war, brother. Yes. Cool. Although it ain't no threat on you. You see, I don't see that's the thing. You can walk around here. Come on, man. We can name. Do we got to call names? Do we have to call names? Huh? See, this is why I guess you want to know what Saturn and Aquarius is and all this shit. I tell y'all, if I go to people's radio shows, they tell Ampu, shh, because I know how he get when he get going. Shh, I get the gag treatment when I talk. Why I don't get the invite, I already know, because I'm not here fucking around. And my track record speaks for itself in the sense of put your money where your mouth is and walk that shit. Walk it out. Meaning we got something to do, right? So the narrative changed for sure, about, I ain't trying to turn this thing upside down, because that's not the name of the game, to come in to turn this thing upside down in that particular sense. Nope. I learned something called a spiritual science, and I'm trying to deal with individual, collective progression for those who seek to understand more of what we perceive to be or call a mystery system. Okay? Okay. Now, since you understand war, but you do not understand, and this don't make sense, how you going to be at war, but you don't understand the history of the people who fought on your behalf, and they fought a physical war. Oh, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's be real clear. Let's be real clear. Because all of this shit is relative. If we talking about Saturn and Jupiter and Aquarius, and we saying Saturn is government and Aquarius is the people, then I'm going to tell you Abraham Lincoln is a goddamn Aquarius and he freed the goddamn black people. What? Am I making it up? Like, it's true. It's true. So now we can talk about the historicity or the historical aspect of what I'm saying. So how you going to be pro-war and you don't know the facts of the people who literally fought the physical war known as the Civil War to get black folks free? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. And I got faith and luck because I see, man, listen, the Aquarius is the one that sees the whole picture. The Aquarius sign, it says, listen, groups of people, humanity. So if you any other sign than goddamn Aquarius, guess what? Technically speaking, you don't have the mental capacity that deals with humanity. And it don't mean that you don't, but all I'm saying is if one is in front of you that does, and that's saying this shit, I will think that one will be the one that's more astute to this thing so we can get it. Come on, man. Can we talk about signs? You want to talk about the signs in the heaven? If you want to go to the Quran, you want to go to the Bible, like, where do we got to go with this thing? Okay? All right. So how is it that we don't know? So now this means that we're not students of the game. We're not students of war. Because the war that I play is different, man. Like, listen, I'll just tell you, like, we can go to a mountaintop and conduct war through the ethers, and then next thing you know, somebody's getting hurt. I'll just tell you, flat out. I ain't gonna tell you who, but we've done that before. That's easy to do. But that's not something that you do just to do, though. You got to understand that. Okay? All right. So I got full faith. Lord knows I have full faith. I had so much faith, ladies and gentlemen, I created a website back then. It was called resolution444.com. I took it down. I just wanted to put it out there. And I found some old pictures. It was an online petition. You know what the petition said back then? It's like 2013. Let's go take Detroit, Michigan. Oh, it's bankrupt. That's an opportunity. Buy it. So now I'm gonna start calling names because I'm getting ready to go into another phase of my life where the bow tie got to come back. And the fat boy got to slim down, and I just got to call it for what it is so we can just do the goddamn right thing. So let's start calling names tonight, okay? Let's go to Detroit, Michigan. Give me SETI. Black motherfucking African power. Give me Sarah Suit and SETI. Give me the thunder. Give me the mass, that critical mass of people that got that element to them. When I say element, I mean that's what I call, in law, they call it the executive branch of government. That's what they call it in law. Okay? I'm gonna tell you what the white man do. You want to mirror something? Because homeboy, don't act like he's not successful, because he's successful. You say he putting you in the box and he boxing you in. You've been getting your ass whipped. You gonna keep talking about how you whooping your ass? Or are you gonna understand strategy? What are we gonna do? Okay? So give me SETI. We're gonna take Detroit at that time. That's his home turf. It makes sense. This is actually temple number 1 inside of the Nation of Islam. So now that should be an easy connection. That should be no problem. That's easy. It's really just the right thing to do because it's your black Motown. Also, then when it came from, when you came out of the civil rights era at the last end of it, you partying and grooving and shit. You at Motown, you doing your thing. You should have homage and pay homage, and there's a connection there, right? Okay. But we're gonna need to understand some law, because in Michigan, you can create something called a village. And then the village may only need like 10,000 votes or signatures or things of that nature. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to carve out your own little village. Like if you in Chicago, you can be like in Richmond Park. You can be in Hyde Park. You can be in these other you're in Chicago, but you're really in a whole nother little city for a little neighborhood. Okay. So you can take a square or a rectangle of a neighborhood and carve out your own little thing. But we need people that's astute at law to do that. Oh, yeah. Give me Ali Muhammad. Oh, shit. What? I'll even take Polite. I'll take, and I'll definitely take Cheyenne. Ooh, the Liberator. In law, give me those three. Stop playing with me, man. I'm build a dream team. See, fuck all that hip hop rap shit. Who your top five? Let's talk about a motherfucking top five on some different level type shit. We can get in hip hop. I want to talk some ball shit, some moves too. I want to talk some conscious shit so people can wake up and we can get there. Okay? All right. So I ain't afraid to share my platform. I ain't afraid to do it. All right. All right. So give me that in law, because these cats got something. Don't act like they ain't got nothing. These cats got something. This is what the white man call them. And I don't even like saying that. Okay, but I gotta say that for those who believe that, but they call that the legislative branch in government, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is all relevant to Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius. We're talking about the government, the expansion, and the people, right? Okay, so this is called the legislative branch in government. They write the laws. Okay, all right. I can't leave Umar out. Okay? Nobody's perfect. Nobody is. Nobody's perfect. He who is what they say, he without sin, let them cast the first stone. I ain't throwing that motherfucker. I'm not. Right? I'm talking about raw potential though. Come on, man. Some things that can be done. Right? Right? Give me young Pharaoh. Executive side. Possibly law side. And Sparrow side. And then you got the Supreme Court, which is those who have supreme understanding. And I ain't talking about just reciting some lessons and you don't even understand the nature of how planets play on the psyche of people. I ain't talking about that supreme wisdom. I'm talking about a spiritual light that you possess, that you literally wholeheartedly possess, right? That ain't biased, right? And show how this thing works and to be able to adjudicate over specific matters. That's the trifecta. Give me the priesthood. Flat out. Those of more of a spiritual nature. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to back it up a little bit and go to war. Okay. How about this? I am telling you that it's not fair to put people in a state of fear and talk about what the white man is doing when we have a whole history on this soil of another white man that kicked that type of white man's ass, the one that be doing something to you. Let me make it clear. Ladies and gentlemen, when it was a white person doing something to you, he identified himself as a Confederate when it was time to go to war. The Civil War was the biggest apex of the slave issue in the world. Okay? Literally, everybody, all the nations knew about your slavery. Then Africa came over here and got off boats in Mali, the goddamn Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Egyptians, huh? The Turks, huh? Come on. Ain't no who came and got black people out of slavery, goddammit. Red, black, and green flag, was it Libya? They ain't come. Then African nation pulled up on America, got off boats, and start finding your ass. That ain't how the history go, man. Nah. We're gonna tell the truth. We're gonna tell the truth. And it wasn't Native Americans that came through. The history don't show Native Americans riding on this white boy like, let these niggas go. These are our brothers. Nah, that ain't happen. In fact, them 5 Southerners, the civilized tribe, they start riding with the Confederates and had slaves. But that's another conversation. But my point is, when the white person wanted to do something to you, he identified himself in that time as a Southern Confederate. Okay? All I'm saying is, why don't we hear the narrative of the victory? Because guess what? We won. Like, the person who was riding for you, that ideology actually won at the end of the day. So why don't we tell about all of the successes that we had, whether it's through legislation? What legislation, brother? Well, I tell you. See, this thing got game, man. Do you know, what's that? 1793 Fugitive Slave Act passed. The white boy down south is tripping. Talking about, hey, man, when slaves come up north, man, they getting free. And we don't like that, man. Y'all stealing our property. Congress, this is some bullshit. Okay. We're going to write a new law and say that if slaves get caught up in the northern states, they have to be returned. Do you know it's people in Massachusetts sending out letters saying black people beware of white people acting and asking questions? They're slave catchers trying to catch you. But do you know this? Google this shit, man. The very next year in 1794, after the Fugitive Slave Act passed in 1793, the very next year was a law that was passed that stopped the slave trade of going out of America. The Slave Prohibition Act of 1794. This is real chess. Now, in one sense, you pass a law that said turn the slaves in, and in another sense, you turn right back around and pass something that stops slavery. You see, because it was always 2 ideologies when it came to black folks, man, inside of this government. And that's what you got to understand. And I'll say it again. If you're from the side of the black experience that want to say we at war, then I ask you to tell the story about the people who were physically at war on our behalf or our ancestors' behalf, because our black ass wasn't even there for real, to be acting like we at war. We ain't got sprayed with no damn water hose. You may know somebody who have in the past. I'm not saying that it's okay that we ain't get sprayed, but goddamn it, we ain't get sprayed. Can we just have a moment of truth here? Because we ain't get sprayed. You ain't had German Shepherd sick on you. I didn't pick cotton in Tennessee like my grandma did. Sorry. It burns me up, but I wasn't a cotton picker. Okay? So there's a whole nother side of victory here. And now we got to learn how to simply tell that narrative. And I'm going to come off of it because I think I proved my point before I start really name dropping on the people who were successful and whatnot. I'm going to tell you one more thing about the Saturn and Jupiter and Aquarius. We got to tell the narrative of victory. And I'm not just talking about historical victory. Man, listen, man, the narrative of victory to me is, Hove got a check for like 300 million from Sprint. Let me be a part of that. You know what I mean? I like what you're doing so much. Samsung is like, hey, on the Note 4, we want to put your app on our phone on Sprint services only. We're going to give you 300 million so we can get, some commerce, man, because what you got is popping. And I know people mess with you. That's value, man. Like, if it's all like that, nigga, I ain't giving you nothing. No, you can't have a company. How about that, nigger? Like, we don't live in that time. And you're not going to convince me. You're just not going to convince me that successful people are sellouts. That is your own fear and your own hate, if you have that. Okay? Say what you want to say. Okay? So, now, the words that I'm speaking forth will forever be much more directed in the sense of speaking the things that we want into existence. I don't want to talk about war unless we're going to have a very serious conversation about it. Okay? And I'm not going to do it because I'm busy trying to get somewhere. Okay? So the things that we can speak about are, when I say the stories, I'm talking about stories of success, the blueprints on how we going to do it. You understand how I'm saying? How people done it so we can all progress. All right? Because I showed y'all in church when we had church what the sin is. The sin was when you wasting time, and poverty is the sin that Bible was talking about. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You know, it's everything about you wasting time, not taking advantage of time, which is Saturn, okay, and not becoming successful, which is Saturn again, okay. And I showed that. You can gotta look in these videos and whatnot, and you know it's here. I talked about it, okay. Now, Saturn in Aquarius, especially Saturn in Aquarius, Jupiter in Aquarius. Black folks, hear me closely when I say this, because I get sensitive over this matter. But it's more Saturn. It ain't got Jupiter. We can excuse Jupiter, Saturn, and Aquarius. I'm going to tell you what we going to have to do to clean our karma up on the spiritual tip. So hear me closely when I say this. Because look, Saturn is a planet of karma. Go look up the keywords for Saturn and you will see karma. If Saturn is a keyword for karma, and it's in Aquarius, and Saturn's a keyword for responsibility, then there's something about, and Saturn is the past. Usually karma is depicted about the past. There is a karmic retribution or something karmic about the past as it deals with the Aquarian nature. Now, Aquarius is freedom. Okay? Look it up. The key word for Aquarius is freedom. This is why I said Bob Marley, Huey P. Newton, and whatnot. Abraham Lincoln. And this is where I'm going with it. And this is for those of you who, and I think it's really all of you, because you hear listening to some damn planets in the sky. There's a strong spiritual nature about you. If you've got to this particular point in your evolution about planets in the sky and understanding that these are balls of energy that's spinning. And since it's in motion and it's spinning, then that means that's waves of energy that is a ripple effect, that the Earth is passing by some of these planets in its own ripple effect. And then the two, Venus and Mercury, are closer and they're passing by us as we all moving around the sun. And it's just a ripple effect of energies. You understand that? You're here. So this is really for all of you who are here. Individually, and or in your own collective, which I'm going to say that's individual, whether you take some groups of people, whoever that may be, or whether we all do it collectively, we're going to have to go put some flowers on Mr. Abraham Lincoln's grave, goddammit. I'm just going to have to say that. Because, see, you can't say your ancestors is real and not believe. Let me tell you something about ancestors being real. Do you know, in New Orleans, you can go on a ghost tour and take pictures and you're going to see ghosts. So if you got ghosts, period, because they real, you got Confederate ghosts. You got Union ghosts, Union soldiers. Ancestors just ain't limited to black ancestors. And let me tell you something about black ancestorship. It ain't all that you think it is. What I mean by that? Listen, man. It's called slavery. God damn it, where your black ancestors was at then? I mean, you just gotta call it for what it is, man. Haiti, okay. Where's the prosperity at? Because it looked like they ain't got no goddamn prosperity god down there. Okay? And I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying we gotta really know the application of this thing. You can't 100%. See, that's when you believe in a mystery God, when you think that the ancestor and the God invisible force is going to change the dynamic without you putting work in. That's the problem. So the ancestor thing ain't shit. Ain't shit. I'm just gonna tell you. And I don't mean it don't have value, but when I'm saying it ain't shit, it ain't nothing in comparison to, obviously, to make a change to stop slavery from happening and put you on the throne. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing. Nothing. But what I am saying is, here's a kicker. Those energies are real. They don't rule this thing. Okay? Clearly. You have to lift fallen souls. Some souls can't even go to a higher evolution. Because again, go to New Orleans and take pictures and you're going to see they ain't even got a head, but they sitting there in pictures like this. You can see this stuff for yourself, okay? What Mr. Lincoln done, he lost his life for. And I take this shit personal because how he lost his life chilling at a play, modern day, what we would call movie, right? Chilling at a play and lost his life sitting next to his wife, although he died a day later. I mean, I don't want to imagine this shit because it's horrible and I'm very conscientious on what I imagine, but damn, a man sitting there watching the plays, girl right here and shit, the Civil War, you think it's over, you're doing a great thing and shit. You don't hear it coming. Or when you do hear it coming, there's some commotion because he got past the first person. He wouldn't even get past the first person. He actually came and popped him in the head. Then it was a commotion. Come on, man. Come on, man. He took one. As many of them did. Many of them did. That's why I say if you're in the ancestral worship, the best thing that you can do is put some goddamn Quaker Oats grits and some Quaker Oats oatmeal on your altar. The white dude with the blue shit on, the Puritan, the Quakers. Because the Quakers are known as the Society of Friends, and they've been schooling and educating black folks in the 1600s. As early in the 1600s in Germantown, Pennsylvania, which was a section of Philadelphia. In the 1600s, they was educating and taking risks and schooling black folks, literally taking them in and letting them read, teaching them to read and write and things of that nature. The Quakers, the same people who have Benjamin Banneker's Almanac, okay, the Quakers. So if you're into ancestral worship, man, you owe it to some group of people. It's the only reason why I got the flag back there. Because I understand that it's us, it's ours, it's our cosmology, it's all this greatness. We got to learn how to go through the muck and mire of this thing and see the absolute truth, the al-haq of what the situation is. Because if you really thought it was a whole bad place like this and it was a war to get you and you ain't did shit, you a sucker, me included. And then why ain't you move to Africa then if they here to get you? Oh, see, there, I ain't trying to hear it, man. The level of threat must not be like that where you feel, because you ain't busting nobody's ass and you ain't moving. So what's the problem? Right? What's going on? Oh, I know what it is. The truth is the level of threat ain't there like that. And you know it and I know it. So since it's not there, we cannot be talking all of that rah-rah what the white man shit is doing because that shit's played the fuck out. Okay? So I say I apologize because I know years ago I was on that shit. I was on that. We at war. Man, you would have caught earlier pictures in that. I used to have the motherfucking the army fatigues on, the beret on with the red, black, and green patched on my damn on the head. I had the big ass panther knife and shit. Like I was ready. I thought I was ready. You know, you couldn't convince me I wasn't ready. I'm ready to rumble. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta do all that, man. It ain't even necessary because the threat ain't there like that. You understand what I'm saying? It's time for us to awaken, build in these great fields, do some great things. We got big things await us, man. Big things await us. Jupiter and Aquarius. Big. That means the group, humanity, gets to really prosper, tap into a year's energy of what we really want to do. What y'all want to do? What I want to do is I want to build legacy and success. I ain't trying to hear that. You know why children looking at you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? Really, like, they don't understand that. They don't understand that shit we talking about here. You lying. You tell children about the racism in general. They don't live in that shit. They don't see that. And you shouldn't expose them to that. To be honest with you, I ain't trying to hear all that. You know, you gotta know the past in order to know where we going. You a lie. I can pull out right now and say I'm about to go to California, and I know I need to go westbound. God damn it, with the past of me being somewhere else in the past, way on the East Coast, what that got to do with me going to California? How I gotta know the past to go to the goddamn future? You lying. That's like saying I'm looking in my rear view mirror, driving forward the whole time. Like, stop it. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. Okay? So we got to switch the narrative here, man. Switch the narrative. Build your network of people. Whatever your passion is, man, own it. Own it. Own it. Own it. Own it. We got some great things coming up, man. In fact, I'm gonna do something on the 20th. Me and my Ruby, we're gonna get together on the 20th. And we're gonna do an online vision board joint. All right. In fact, this weekend I'm gonna make a video for it. So you got to get on the email list. You'll see it right here on YouTube. I'm gonna make the video and I'm gonna upload it. All right. I'm going down, man. I got an 8-plex apartment building. I'm about to do an incubator, the quantum incubator. All right. I'm really about to take some millennials, sons, rent free, ain't got to pay the rent. And we're going to lock in on 2 things. We're going to help each other. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do this real estate thing. And then whatever your passion is, help you pursue that as well when you ain't got the pressure of having rent. You know what I'm saying? And start cultivating the next generation. So y'all about to see a video. Literally, hopefully I'm gonna do it Saturday, so you'll see it hopefully Sunday. But top of the week, you're gonna see a new video in front of what I call the quantum incubator. All right. I'm talking about putting your mouth, putting your money where your mouth is at. For real, for real. It's time to get out here and build. We grabbing properties. Like I said, 2020 it's been the most phenomenal year of my life, to be honest with you. I'm not bullshitting. It's been phenomenal. You know what I mean? And then it's just, it's just time, man. It's just time. So be on the lookout for that. All right. The 20th, you know what I mean? We're going to have the vision board party. It's not free, but it's not going to hit you in the pockets either. It's probably going to be like $40 or something. Come through. You know what I mean? And because the techniques that we give are phenomenal. I'm going to actually play. It's going to be a video. I'm going to show you. Some of y'all seen it because y'all rock with me. I'm going to give you the 333 game. I'm going to show you what some people have done with it thus far, manifesting money and things of that nature and whatnot. But it's going to be dope, man. Super, super, super dope. And give me some questions, man. Give me some questions in the chat. What time is it? 8:20? We can go to 8:30. I like 7 o'clock, man, because 8 o'clock will push me to 10. 7 put me at 9. So give me some questions. Can we talk about Moorish history and why we even got into slavery? How all this started? What was going on in Africa? We had to have done some shit. Ooh, man, Bruce Lee. Boy. All right. You want to go there? They got to admit it, man. Excuse me. So 711 Moors ruled Spain all the way up to easy 1492, damn near 800 years. They're kicking ass. The church, I got to go get the Pope's name and all that. They clapped back by allowing the Portuguese to go into Africa under the name of Christianity because the African Islamic folks are running up into northern parts of Spain and they kicking white Christians' ass and enslaving them. And I had a rhyme that says something like, thinking we the shit with Becky on our dick, enslave the white man or enslave their white men, and then it went Confederate. Oh shit. Meaning, do you peep the history? Because if you on a record for enslaving them in that timeline, late 1400s, you know what I'm saying? 200 years later, early, not even a whole 200. You know what I mean? Because it was damn near, you came out in 1492, so you're damn near at the year 1500. 116 years later, you had 1616, which is Jamestown, Virginia, and black folks is getting, pulled up on, getting offloaded on these boats. So not even a whole, a little over 100 years later, now it's your turn, homie. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know what happened in Kim, in Egypt. That ain't my study, but there's a clear history of black folks enslaving white folks. There's books on it called They Were White, They Were Slaves. And we never talk about that kind of stuff. White folks were actually slaves too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just a quick simple timeline that you 100% enslaved them and whatnot. And then it was your turn. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. How far can you really go with reparations? You want to keep it on the soil, and do white people from overseas in Spain be like, hey, black folks, people from the African countries, these y'all came up here and made us slaves. We want Morocco. We want, think about this. If white people in Spain say, hey, the nation from Morocco came in and made us slaves and did this to our ancestors, we want reparations. And then the Moors are saying that they got a piece of Morocco, then should you pay? You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing would be one big ass circle. So when it comes, that really leads into this whole reparations thing, which this is Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. That means the people want justice, because Aquarius is the people. Jupiter is justice. Jupiter is the law, and Saturn is justice in the government. So the people really want justice. But what do they want justice about? Well, the biggest infraction for sure is slavery. But it's a sticky subject. And you gotta, because on one hand, again, we can argue that the United States is the only nation that came and got you out of slavery. Again, I say it again. It wasn't no Islamic nation. It wasn't no RBG nation. It wasn't nobody from Africa, nobody from the Caribbean, nobody from China, nobody from Native American culture. Nobody got us out of slavery besides the United States Army did it. Now, they didn't launch the offensive campaign to do it. It would have happened over a series of strategies, but South Carolina wasn't stupid. South Carolina was like, nah, that dude named Abraham Lincoln, I heard what he was debating. Go read the 1858 Lincoln Douglas debates for yourself. You want to see what Abe is about? Don't let nobody tell you about what. Listen, go read it for yourself. They long. You got ADD like me, you probably ain't gonna, but you'll be able to get some game from them real fast and see what Abe was on. South Carolina knew what Abe was on, and it was like, oh no, he rolling with, oh, he gonna get rid of slavery. I tell you what, we about to launch an attack on the Federals, and we gonna shoot this boat called the Star of the West. The Star of the West actually started this whole thing it was the sacrificial lamb at Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina. Look it up, man. I am telling you. And whatnot. So you know what I mean? So South Carolina knew what it was. And so after that, we had to bust their ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. You know what I mean? So the United States government didn't launch an offensive campaign to get us out through military strategy. We responded through defense, and then we was able to play offense and bust their ass. Now, before the Civil War, as Mississippi's pointed out, I'll bring your attention to Google Mississippi secession speech. Google it. It's going to come up on maybe Yale University got it, and go read what they say. They're going to tell you that, man, the United States government has been interfering with the institution of slavery ever since 1787, when they introduced a document called the Northwest Ordinance, where they didn't want to allow slavery to go north of the Ohio River. Okay, this is Mississippi in a secession speech. Somebody fact check me, pull that shit up right now, and I bet you find it. Okay, so the United States government had already been interfering with slavery through a series of basically laws, legislation. Okay, I just told you in 1794 they stopped. George Washington signed off on the bill to stop the exportation of slaves. 1803, Thomas Jefferson signs a law to stop the importation of slaves. Okay. 1816 to 1819, right up in that pocket, really 1819, the Missouri Compromise is passed by James Monroe. That's my dude right there. James Monroe passed a law that said the Missouri Compromise, no slaves are allowed above 36 degrees north latitude. What you talking about, man? We crushing slavery all the way back from the 1700s, all the way up into the 1800s, into the goddamn Civil War pop off. There was always there's been people. I got all the players that's been there. Like, okay, this is how we gonna destroy this thing. Systematic, man. Systematic. Okay, this art of war clever shit right here. Okay, totally genius. And they saying, listen, ain't no slaves allowed above 36 degrees north latitude. And then guess what happened? Then 54 is the Kansas-Nebraska Act. That's what made it really get thick. Your famous boy, John Brown, all y'all that like John Brown, Killer Mike and them, man, John Brown was coming up out of Ohio at that time, and they rolled down into Kansas. Colonel James Montgomery, who later would give Harriet Tubman guns, they was taking militiamen and forming their own militia before the Civil War started. And they was forming their own groups because it was people who wanted slaves, white boys in a new territory, and their names was called the Border Ruffians. And the people who was against slavery was called the Jayhawkers, hence the Kansas Jayhawkers, the Ballers. You feel me? And so John Brown and them was down there battling them cats in Kansas. 1854, the Civil War ain't to 1861. That's like 7 years prior. You understand what I'm saying? They down there battling, getting it in. So the Kansas-Nebraska Act was like, yo, the federal government, you can't tell what state can't have slave. Forget your little line of 36 degrees north latitude. We do what we want to do. Let me rewind you, though. That Missouri Compromise said Missouri wanted to come in as a slave state. Go check the record. Then they said, okay, cool. If you come in as a slave state, we're going to create this new state called Maine. Maine going to be a free state. What's up with that? Why ain't nobody telling us about that? Ain't nobody telling us about the 1819, 1820 piracy laws that the United States got they got a boat in the squadron known as African Squadron. Look it up. Fact check me, man. African Squadron is on the Atlantic Ocean, looking at the west coast of Africa and then coming over to Brazil, going in this circle, making sure ain't no black slaves being put on the boat, man. Huh? United States government is doing that, but we don't talk about that story. And I ain't saying the United States is 100% clean. I know where to nail their ass at. You just got to know this. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, in that whole thing, man, it was some ingenious stuff that was clapping back, and we got to get to that. We're gonna have to get to that if we're gonna get to, reparations for real. We're gonna have to deal with that. But y'all on the spiritual side, man, we're gonna have to go to my man's graveyard. We're gonna have to go put some flowers on Abe's grave. You want to tap in for real? Shh. You want to see the heavens open up for real? Shh. Man, please, man. I'm telling you, we go there and we start doing certain rites, it's game over, man. And here's the kicker. Abe was on such a science. He said, and I want y'all to go read it. He said, we henceforth shall forever be free. Like free forever. So I'm gonna be tripping because one thing this Google one thing about Abe. Type in Abraham Lincoln mystic chords of memory and go just read that sentence in which he dropped that line in and see what the hell was he on. What do you mean the mystic chord of memory that stretched from the battlefield to the graveyard? Like, what are you talking about? Dead people, graveyards, a mystic chord of memory. Mystic means something that's invisible, mysterious. A chord is something that connects something. So now you telling me there's some dead people in the graveyard that has some type of etheric chord that's connected and it has memory? What are you talking about? It was on a whole nother science, man. Whole nother science. Okay? Don't get it twisted. He was on such a science that his Secretary of War, Edward Stanton, he used to call him my Mars because obviously Mars in the mythology is the god of war. In the Roman, Abraham Lincoln called his Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, my Mars. Look it up. And tell me I ain't talking about what I'm talking about. Shit, you keep up. All right. Akashic record. Yeah, you can say that. I can accept that. He talking about that. You know what I'm saying? It's a record memory. You know what I'm saying? I may have to do a video on it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, I give y'all this, and I said it before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can change it to whatever you want to change it to, man. Um, this is what we have to ponder. I give you two examples what Abraham Lincoln meant about the mystic court of memory. This is why this thing is divinely intelligent, and you got to know how to get down with this. One is Thomas Jefferson and John Quincy Adams, which Adams was the second president, Jefferson was the third. They were respectable, friendly opponents. Both signed on a Declaration of Independence. July 4th, now known as July 4th, 1776. Do you know both of them died on July 4th, like 18, maybe 26 or something? I forget what year. But they both died on July 4th. Go look it up. Look at the death day. Now you got to ask yourself this. The Declaration of Independence is the foundation and starting point of the United States of America. We know it as the 4th of July, Independence Day. Both of these men die on July 4th, on the same day, same year that they signed, same day they signed the document, and same year one another. And it is rumored to have said, the legend states, that John Adams said, like, shit, Thomas Jefferson outlives me. But he didn't know that Jefferson had died hours prior in Monticello, Virginia. And Adams at that time, what, somewhere in Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken? You gotta look at that. And then the Civil War literally started. What's his name? What's his name? William McElmer or something? What's his name? The Civil War. When the Civil War started, not this is how the Civil War went, y'all. South Carolina got pissed and they shot at a boat. So they did a sneak attack. So that wasn't the first battle. That was like, you did a sneak attack. So now that we know it's on, then we're like, okay, we'll meet us on the battlefield and let's go head to head then. That was known as the Battle of Bull Run. That's the first one. If you're from the South, you called it Manassas. Okay? So the first battle of Manassas, first battle of Bull Run is the same fight. A bullet went off and went into a dude's house. I forget the dude's name. But the dude is like, oh shit, I'm getting out of here. And I am moving. Okay? He moves from Manassas, Virginia, and moves to Appomattox, Virginia in 1861. And then in 1865, April the 9th, Robert Lee surrenders, and they have to pick a house where he's going to sign the documentation that he surrenders. And he surrenders in the dude's house, who it was where the Civil War actually started. I swear to God, this is a true story. So dude moved hundreds of miles away, like 200 something miles away or some shit. 4 years later, the war ends with him. There's something that's bigger here that takes place. You see? This is why I give light to the external aspect of consciousness. Although the indwelling part is, to me, the finer point, because it's your awareness. But there's also an external corresponding factor to this thing as well. Okay? And so dude couldn't run. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to ask yourself, like, man, how is that even possible? You thought you was getting away, and you didn't get away. You know what I mean? It started with you, it ended with you. You understand? Hold on, somebody called me, y'all. All right. Facts, man. Facts. All right, man. Imagination Guru, what up? You know what I'm saying? So that's it, man. Y'all ain't got no questions? They had two different constitutions. I don't know. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. You know about the Great Compromise at the Wormley Hotel? Nah, the Great Compromise. Never heard of that and whatnot. I definitely look it up, man. I like that little particular pocket of time right there. It's very interesting to me too, man. So I definitely look it up. I'm not familiar with it. Oh yeah, crack era. Yeah. No, man. Y'all owe. Oh, they owe down, man. Oh no. Don't get it twisted. They owe down. They owe down. Yeah, the crack era. You owe down. You know what I'm saying? You freeway. It's already been admitted that United States government y'all done brung in some cocaine. Y'all brung it in through the Bay. You know what I'm saying? No. You owe down. That flag you owe down. You especially when you let 90 years go past from the 15th Amendment, we get the right to vote all the way to 1965. The Voting's Right Act. What's up with that? We got the 15th Amendment. What you saying? We didn't have the right to vote at the 15th Amendment? And y'all let the South torture black folks on your watch. On your watch. These were now states that were readmitted to the Union, and you allowed them to have tortured and killed black folks on your watch. You owe down for that, man. You gotta call it for what it is. That's just fair. Fair is fair, man. All right, man. So look out for us, man. Y'all can get to my man Jew, the Imagination Guru. Get to me, myastrologycoach.com. You can click on one of the memberships, man. Two options over there. Either A, if you want star reports, I keep you safe. It's like a cosmic insurance policy. That's all it is I look at it as an insurance policy. It's only $20 a month. My job is to make sure that Mars don't creep up on that ass. All right. If you ain't even vibrating that energy, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It ain't for you. All right. I like to also show you pockets about balancing relationships. Why? Because it may be Venus is out of pocket. Venus square Venus represents your relationship can have a little bit of turmoil at that time. So before that get here, once you show appreciation and set a date. Let me be clear. If I tell you that, hey man, on December the 20th, shit look a little funky in relationships, won't you go ahead and say, hey babe, we going out? And you're going to set that date right before that so y'all can have a good time. You understand what I'm saying? Beat that energy before it manifests, before it aligns on you. Okay. So I really love that portion. And most importantly, I love the money opportunities. All right. Now, say if you got Jews wishing well, or you got my golden forest technique or whatever you may have. And we say, ooh, here go a money transit that's coming. This is an excellent time to put all shit down. And I think we should be doing this anyway. Everything down and be really focusing on that big goal in front of you, that success module, so you can make it happen. All right. So you'll get to it, myastrologycoach.com, reports only, or join me in the Family Wealth Club. Let me tell you something. I got my people here today. She'll testify, but I don't want her to testify and show you. Man, listen, man, there is, and I'll just tell you the cash flow module, man, you have to really learn finances, y'all. Seriously, as grown people, we be getting on this module, man, and we be going bankrupt and failing and shit and don't know how to spend money and invest money. You got to practice becoming rich. The best way that you can do this is playing the game cash flow. Go to richdad.com and play cash flow. People who come in the wealth club, they have to go through a series of things, and then I show them in real time what their faults are. I swear to God, we all got the same thinking. We do the same dumb, broke shit and go bankrupt. Literally, the game, like, you lost, you went bankrupt, because we all got the same pattern. Can you really imagine that? Like, you go play a game that shows you how to really spend money, buy stuff and things, make investments, buy houses, sell the house, buy apartment building, get the rent money or sell it and things of that nature, buy stocks and shit like that. And you go bankrupt, right? And you go bankrupt. You imagine that? You go bankrupt, right? But everybody has the same spending habits that go bankrupt. So something needs to change in our thinking. Okay. So when they come in the wealth club, man, you got something to do as it pertains to that. And then I give you another challenge that you have to do. I made my own game within the game and about to create something else that's in the game, because you should know every single option that pop up. So if you really want to strengthen your financial IQ, I am telling you, you need to go to richdad.com and go ahead and start playing cash flow. But you need to come in the wealth club so I can give you the game, because I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get this one deal. You're going to get a house. You're going to sell it. You're going to get some cash and you're going to buy your way there. That ain't where the game is at, man. Anybody can do that. You ain't learned shit. You ain't learned nothing if you got the money in the account and you spent it all. So let me be clear. If the object of the game is for you to increase your passive income, so you can your passive income, your rental properties basically can pay your bills. So now you can quit your job. Okay. All right. Say your bills is $5,000. Okay. Now let's just say you luck up and you get a house for zero down or $3,000 down, and then the house appreciates and you sell it years later, and now you got $50,000 or 60,000 in cash, right? So now you take your 50, 60 in cash, and then you may invest it in something that brings $3,000 in revenue in, and now you out the rat race because now that 50,000 lump sum money, you can just make the next move. You just bought your way into it. You didn't learn shit. So there's another system in there that I take certain things away from you to see how you think. And every time I do it, a person go bankrupt, right? But then when I show you the game, the real game about it, then you start executing and you got to do something, man. So I'm telling you, it's the dopest shit ever, man. Get at us, the Prosperity Investment Group.com, man. We said what's the average dollar amount I should order, man? But one, we don't invest in a sense, you know what I'm saying? I'm not soliciting. Let me be clear on that. The Family Wealth Club is where it's at, and that's what we're doing. It's at the Prosperity Investment Group, and deals work like this, bro. We know we look at certain things together. You know what I mean? We friends first. We become friends, establish a relationship. We talk family to family and whatnot. And then we look at something and we say, hey, man, it'd be wise for us to, pretty much create an entity and let's go get it. Let's partner up. You know what I mean? So it's about partnerships. It's not about actual investing per se, in a sense. All right. So I got to be clear on that because I want to be clear something. It's illegal for you to be out there talking about, hey, put your money in my fund. I don't have no fund for you to put no money in. That ain't what this is. This is about us making common sense decisions to say, yo, I raise my hand that I want to change the financial dynamic for myself and who I call family. And I need to get with other people so we can come together and talk about what private ventures we can do together. That's the key to it. All right. So call me, man. You can call me. You can call the 267-403-4078. All right. With that, man, I get with y'all. Peace.